recording this computer. Okay, we are good to go. So like I said, please, please, please ask me questions that you want help with. I know as I talk, I normally get more as we go, but I don't have a lot planned. But something I do want to talk about that I've been talking with a lot of people just in my messenger in general. If I continue to get the same message or the same problem or kind of the same thing being asked to me, I feel like it's important to share and to talk about it, because I'm sure that more of you are struggling with it than actually speak up and say something. And this kind of has to do with mindset. It kind of has to do with intentionally working. But, I get a lot of messages where, I think your mind kind of gets into that freak out stage where you need to sign somebody and you haven't, or somebody was supposed to sign up and they're not, or you haven't enrolled, or you're trying to hit your VIPs like we're doing right now, or you get into this lack mindset where you have this freak out. And the best thing I can compare it to is when I have anxiety and I have a panic attack, or I feel one coming on, and they always tell you to try to put your mind onto something else. Like if you sit there and you focus on it, you literally run yourself in a circle and you chase your tail and nothing happens. All that happens is that you get more stressed, or you get more worried, or your mindset goes more towards lack rather than abundance. So I know, especially in times like this when we're fighting for the VIP resets, or you're brand new and you're still fighting for your VIPs, if you haven't signed somebody and you kind of get into that freak out where you're like, okay, I posted and I did this, but I haven't signed anybody. I need to sign somebody. What am I supposed to do? And I get a lot of messages with you in that freak out. And what I always try to do is, when your mind gets to that point, when you are nervous or scared, or you think you can't do it, or you're just sitting there waiting for something, and an enrollment is not just going to fall in your lap. It's great when those people message you and they're like, hey, I'm ready to sign up. But 9 out of 10 times that doesn't happen every single day. So when you have that freak out and you're in that mindset, I want you to immediately retrain your brain to go and do an income producing activity. And this is something I've had to do with myself, where it happened to me a couple nights ago. The first night I was trying to hit my 800, and I was supposed to have somebody sign up, and then she fell off the face of the earth, right? We get that. That happens all the time. It's network marketing. And I sat there and I freaked out. And I was like, crap, I don't know what to do. Should I message her again? Should I do this? I'm refreshing. I'm seeing if she's active. I'm in this freaking rabbit hole that is not income producing. And what you need to do when your mind gets like that, or you're feeling in lack, is do something. You need to take your mind off of it. And I challenge you to go to and do 5 things that are income producing and are going to grow your business. So what I'm retraining my brain to do is, whenever I get in that point and I've noticed okay, I posted and I'm just refreshing, or I'm just scrolling, or I'm worried about an enrollment that's not happening, I will go and add 15 people on Instagram. I will go and add 5 people on Facebook. I will post something on my story. I will spend 5 minutes engaging on my newsfeed and commenting on people's posts or liking their pictures and whatnot. Retrain your brain. You cannot sit in that rabbit hole and allow it to overtake your mind, where you're just running out of lack and fear, where you've convinced yourself it's not going to happen. You're not going to enroll anybody. Why is nobody coming to me? Why don't I have more prospects? Turn those fears into action, where you're actually doing something that will produce the results that you're sitting there waiting for. And I still do that with myself. I have to retrain my brain to say, okay, I'm sitting here and refreshing my messenger, or seeing if somebody's active, or waiting for somebody to comment on a post, is not going to help me grow my business. I need to go do things that are. So for me, that's going and adding people. It's interacting. It's maybe putting something on my story, not only just what I'm doing, but maybe making an Unfold story. That Unfold app we're all using now on Insta Story. That's been very, very helpful for me. Maybe I need to put my phone down and go read a chapter in a book. Maybe I need to step away and go smell the roses for a minute and just breathe. So I want you to work on taking those moments of lack and those moments of fear and retraining your brain to turn it into something that will actually produce not only enrollments, but income. And that's what you have to do. So do those income producing activities, whether you need to read a book, whether you need to grow your network, clean out your newsfeed, delete people that are being nasty, or baby mama drama. I don't deal with that on my newsfeed. Delete people that you don't want in your network. Do what you need to do to create those income producing activities, rather than sitting there in lack. Fearful thoughts are not going to produce you income. It's not going to help you hit your VIPs. It's not going to help you enroll people. You have to turn it and do something about it. So that's what I'm training myself. And it's just like I said, I relate it to my anxiety. My sister-in-law always taught me this. When I start to have a panic attack, she calls it the 5 things. And you're supposed to think of one thing you can touch, one thing you can smell, one thing you can see. You go through things in your brain to get your mind off of it. So do that with income producing activities. So if you're like, okay, I'm not hitting my VIPs, I haven't enrolled somebody, go do things that actually grow your business. So that was my tidbit. Now I'm going to get into the questions. Hold on. Okay. How do you seal the deal when someone is asking about the products? I'm having a really hard time with people being interested and wanting to sign up, but they don't respond back. So, okay. For me, I have like a one and done type thing where if you message me and you're super interested in the products, they're asking me questions about them or they want to know pricing and whatnot, and I give that info and I talk to them, if they don't respond back to me, I move on. You know what I mean? That's the same thing I was just saying, like me sitting there waiting for somebody to respond, or like, it's a bad saying, beating a dead horse. That doesn't sound good, but you know what I'm saying? Like that, it's not going to help you to get income producing results. So if somebody isn't signing up or they're not responding or they've fallen off, okay, you know, I need to put my time towards somebody that's out there that will be ready right now, that will want to have that conversation. So I'm very selective with my time. I'm very selective with how much energy I put into people. I'm only going to put energy into people that are putting it into me. You know, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help people. And think about it on the promoter side. Like if you're having to drag somebody through this and drag somebody to sign up, is that really even somebody you want on your team? You know, is that really somebody that's going to take initiative and work? No, you're going to drag them through their VIPs. You're going to drag them through their training. It's not worth it. But when it comes to the customer side, I do believe that the way that you talk, and the way that you explain the products is very important, because it is an industry where you can say one thing and you can lose somebody like that. So for me, you guys have heard me say this 1,000 times. I do KISS, keep it simple, stupid. If I was talking to a 5-year-old, I want them to understand what I'm saying. That's how I'm going to explain it to everybody. So be very short and simple with your explanation of the products. Don't hit them with like the ingredients at first or the graphics or this and that. Like if they ask for that, absolutely, I'm going to send you the ingredients, but let them lead the conversation and give them those breadcrumbs to keep them coming back. So I will explain that it's a super simple 3-step system. It fills your nutritional gaps. It gives you all natural energy. They'll come back and say, okay, well, what are the 3 steps? So I'm doing that ping pong where I'm giving them the breadcrumbs and then they're coming back and asking me a question. So it's not a dead conversation. And that's personally what helps me. But if they're interested and then they fall off, don't waste too much of your time. I'll normally check back in like one time that day if we've been talking, but besides that, I don't spend too much time on it. Can you have more than one customer at one address, like separate accounts? Yes, you can. The only thing that there's limits on is cards. So you don't want more than 2 accounts to have the same card. Like my card, well, it's our joint account, but it's on my one. Alicia's eating a corn dog. I can't take this. I just got so distracted. I'm sorry. So like we have the same card on both of our accounts, but like I couldn't put that on a 3rd account. So just be careful with cards, but addresses, my dogs are customers. Don't tell anybody that. And like we're all in the same address. So shh, don't tell anybody. So that does not matter. No. Okay, I'm running so hard for my VIP 800 2.0, but I'm lacking in volume. Any tips on how to attract more attention and seal the deal? So definitely, like I said before, turn those thoughts of stressing about the volume and worrying where it's lacking into actually doing things. During periods like this where we're pushing really hard for something, like we said in the other Zoom, we were saying to get scrappy. Why is my name on another thing? Okay, maybe Travis is on here. That just distracted me. I'm sorry. Get scrappy. In these periods where I'm pushing really hard for things, I'm going to do more than I normally do. Not that I don't work hard, but when we're on a time restraint, this is the time to grind. So I will go live more than I usually do. I will post on my story more than I usually do. Just continue to do those income producing activities every single day. Like make sure every day that you are showing yourself doing your 3-step. Make sure every single day you are doing some type of like, business post about what you're working for or what we have going on or anything like that. But just, I always say, don't reinvent the wheel, double your efforts. You know what to do. You know exactly how to build this business. Just do more of it rather than trying to invent something new to do, if that makes sense. Hold on. I have a lot of people who buy samples, but then after following up and they even seem interested in ordering, some even say they're going to, but then never do. Okay, so that kind of relates to what I said before. for yourself, with the way that you talk, create a sense of urgency. I mean, a lot of us came from the same past company. I don't want you to tell them that you only have certain spots available or like none of that, but you can have urgency, where with me, when it's a sample, I have urgency for them because I know that their products are going to run out. I know that they're going to want their products soon. So I express that to them, and I'm like, I know that you're not going to want to go a lot of days without having this. I really want to help you get your order in. But like I said, don't beat a dead horse. Like if they're not responding or this and that, I've had people that I've sampled and I never heard from them. And then they're like, oh my God, I forgot to take it. It was 2 months later and they took it and signed up, or they, took the products. I had somebody that sampled it, and she just messaged me when I did one of my promos, and she was like, I forgot like how good I felt on that. I really want to order. So know that everybody has their own timing with stuff. And, run your business correctly and do a follow-up. If you need to, be there for them to explain the products to them, explain how to order and whatnot. But if they're not ordering, you want to get samples out to more people, not just focus on them. Like get the product in more people's hands rather than worrying about just them ordering. Your own promos. Can we maybe get a post in the group with different ideas and post ideas to post? Hold on, I'm confused. I'm going to make this my own question. So I do run personal promos that are outside of the company, dependent on what I have in stock. And we did a Zoom with Courtney and talked a lot about this, about leveraging. If your pantry is full of products or your closet is full of products, you want that product in people's hands, not sitting in your pantry. You know what I mean? So for me, I looked in my closet when these VIP resets hit and I was like, holy crap, why do I have 10 things of DFTs? Like I would be in the hospital if I put 10 boxes of DFTs. I was never going to go through those. So I said, okay, you buy the first 2 steps, I'll give you DFTs. You know what I mean? You can leverage what you have and do your own promos when it's in times like this where you want to make enrollments quickly, but just use what you have and don't be afraid to. Personally, I don't really give my personal enrollments like posts to make. Like I will give them examples of how different people started or how I was posting when I started, but I never like, oh, copy and paste this or this and that. Like if you want inspiration or ideas of certain posts, scroll through top leaders. I mean, we all post very differently because we use attraction marketing and we're all completely different, but you can get an idea of the things that we talk about and the things that make our influence on social media bigger that attract people to us. So, maybe you have been through something or you're working towards something in this business, or, you really love the products, but you just don't know how to talk about it. Never be afraid to go to somebody else's page for inspiration. I do that all the time. I go through people on our page all the time to see, what did they post say? What do they have going on? And not that I copy in any way, but it gives you ideas of how to develop it into your own post. Thank you. She said your ring though. Okay. If you are talking to prospects in a group you joined, when and how is the best way to bring them over if the group has rules about promoting your business? If you're talking to prospects in a group you joined. Okay, so if I am in a group on Facebook, I'm in a ton of groups. And I use them to my advantage, not by sharing the products or the business in those groups, but I use it to my advantage by knowing that literally opens up an entire new network for me. Like I have my friends list of my people, but when you get in a group, that literally opens you up to thousands of new people. And, I'm in no way messaging them about the products or messaging them about the business, but when you begin to share in your groups and you interact in your groups, people start to see you. You know what I mean? Like I make sure at night before I go to bed, I sit and I have like 5 groups that I really, really like that I'm really active in, and I'll go through the posts from that day and comment and like, and I try to at least post in 2 groups a day, whether it's dog groups or home decor groups or, I got to join so many when we got engaged. There's so many engagement groups, so many. You know what I mean? Like there's all these things that can attract people to you that are in similar states. So people in those groups, they're engaged too. So we have that similarity. And if I go and I post a picture and, it appears that like, especially when they're like, oh, like drop your Instagram handles. If your Instagram looks appealing, people are going to want to follow you. So when you show up in those groups and you're yourself and you interact, that's how I naturally bring people to my page. I'm not adding them out of the group, but by interacting, a lot of times people start to add you and then they'll see my post from then on and maybe become interested in the product that way. But I don't personally like pull them from a group to my personal friends or approach them about the products. I let them come to me about it. Okay. When interacting on Instagram, do you interact with just your followers or with both who you follow and who follows you. Why is my brain like not working tonight? Just your followers or who you follow, who follows you. I'll be honest, on Instagram, Instagram is all about stories right now. I cannot tell you the last time I scrolled down my feed on Instagram, which is probably really, really bad. But for me, I think stories is the most simple way for me to interact with people. It's quick, it's efficient, it allows me to see what they're doing, it allows me to get to know them, and you can respond to people's stories. So that's how I start a lot of conversations on Instagram, is just authentically responding to people's stories with what they have going on. So with that question, who you follow and who follows you. Why am I having such a hard time understanding this? Like, I'm interacting with the people I follow, but if they follow me and I don't follow them, then I'm not interacting because they're not on it. Use the Unfollow app if that seems to be an issue. You always want your ratio to be normal. So if somebody goes to your page and you have 42 followers and you're following 4,000, they're not going to follow you back. You want to make it even no matter where you're at in your Instagram growth journey. And I get this question all the time, y'all. I've been on Instagram since I was in like 10th grade. Like I was the first person like to ever make an Instagram in my high school. So like I've been building it for forever and it takes time, but when you get the hang of it, it becomes a lot more simple. I seriously have such scroll brain right now. I'm having a hard time. And that's how you're going to grow it. I don't even know what I was talking about. Y'all, I'm all over the place. Okay. How do I choose the people that I add? How do I choose people I add? I'm very, very intentional with the people that I add because I would rather spend time on Instagram, let's say like spend 20 minutes a day on Instagram, finding 15 quality people that I have things in common with than mass adding 100. You know what I mean? Like I would rather get people that I have similar interests with or live in the same area or have the same things going on or love the same things. Like I would rather find people that are like, would be my best friends in real life and find a smaller amount of them than mass add a ton of people, because that's just going to bring you crap that you don't need. I remember when I was in my previous company, I joined a makeup group and I was taught to mass add. So I added like all these people in this makeup group. And then the next morning when I went on my Facebook page, I was like, what? Like, it literally was like middle school drama, like all over my page. I'm like, okay, I don't want this. Like, even if these people sign up, they're not my kind of people. They're not going to vibe with me. They're not going to be people that are in this for the long haul and have the same hopes and dreams and work ethic I do. So I choose who I add by people that if they were sitting in front of me, at the grocery store online or I met them anywhere, we would be friends. You know, I want people that are that are other M's, that are people just like me, and who you add is going to be completely different. It can have to do with what you love, what your hobbies are, where you live. You know, when I first started, I've talked about this before, I found a ton of people because of my previous jobs. So because I was a retail manager, because I was a nanny, because I did all these things, and I found a lot of people because Travis used to be in the oil field. So it's different things like that. What are your things that make you you? You want to find people that have those similarities because that's who you're going to click with a lot easier than somebody that you have nothing in common with. So take the time to intentionally add people that you know you would be friends with in real life rather than just adding people to get followers, because that doesn't help anybody. I wasn't getting interest, so I stayed up all night and added people, and my next post got 6 hits on enroll, but it's getting there. Exactly. That's something that I always say. If you felt like you haven't gotten any new enrollments yet, or you're not getting a lot of engagement, like when was the last time that you added new people? When was the last time that you brought new people onto your page? I always say, if you're not adding people, it's just like a store not opening its doors. You know what I mean? Like I want to add new people and I always want to have new eyes on me, and adding people is very, very important, but intentionally. I did do a video on the team page. I think it was called Intentionally Growing Your Network. And I went over a lot of that. And if I do say so myself, that was a good video. I was fired up that day. Okay. I use the app Captivate. It's helped me with followers. I got 12 in my inbox in a few days. That's awesome. I do not know what that app is, though. I will look that up when we get off of here. I need one more customer. My boyfriend has a promoter account to my address. Can I sign my dog up as long as it's a new card number? You're not going to hear me answer that question. Listen. I never signed my dogs up to hit something. I would honestly, if you're in a bind like that, like ask your mom, you know, call your mom and be like, Ma, I need you. I just have my dogs as customers because I send so many samples that I order so much product that like it makes more sense to do that and earn free product credit than just buy solely through my account. I don't know. Don't tell anybody. Do you have a book or podcast that you recommend for network marketing? Yes, a ton. Hold on, let me pull up my podcast app. Where is it? And if you ever feel like you're stuck, go on Pinterest and search like self-development for network marketers or network marketing books. Like there's so much stuff out there about that. Why is my podcast app not on here? What is happening? This new phone is driving me bananas. Here we go. Okay, so the ones that I have listened to, I like, and these aren't specific. I don't need you to talk right now. These aren't specifically network marketing, but it's a lot about women in business or men in business in the industry. And a lot of tips are very cohesive despite the industry. You know what I mean? Like growing your network and creating a brand, stuff like that. So the girl that was just talking, she has the Style Your Mind podcast. That one's really good. I listen to Rachel Hollis. Her podcast is really good too. And her Facebook Lives are always really good. Her and her husband go live on Instagram all the time. And it's amazing. Hers is the Rise podcast. I listen to the Diva Business School podcast, the Gold Digger podcast, the Influencer podcast. I mean, there's so many. She Did It Her Way. She Means Business, The Inner Boss. I mean, Side Hustle Pro. I have so many. The Guide to Growth. I'll put those in a thing because I know you guys are going to ask me to write those down. And then books, just go on Amazon or Pinterest and search stuff. They have so many. The one that I recommend without a doubt, that I know a lot of you guys are probably tired of hearing me say this, but if you've not read The Compound Effect, you need to read that book. It is so important. Can you get credit so you've transferred to a customer back? No. A good thing to keep in mind is that credits can only be transferred down, never up, if that makes sense. That's what I always keep in mind. I'm doing great with finding customers, but can't find anybody that wants to be a promoter. Any tips? What I always challenge people to do with that is to kind of check your social media and check like your brand and how you're posting. Are you sharing enough about why you're doing this? You know what I mean? Like, why did you want extra money? What are your goals? What are you working towards? And are you also sharing, the features of this business? And I do that very selectively and I do it very carefully where it's never salesy, but I do share, I share about the VIP bonuses. I share about the car bonus. I share about the lifestyle getaways. So never be afraid to share those things and kind of check your page to see, like, have you been sharing enough about the promoter side of things for people to be interested? And also, like we talked about before, that Unfold app with the Instagram stories, like that has been killer for me to be able to story tell and kind of tell where I was and where I wanted to be and where I am now and really captivate people in to click on a poll with those. And if you ever have also questions about how I portray the business or the products on my stories, go to my Instagram and click on the tribe highlight, and everything since last November is saved that I've ever posted about the business or products. You're welcome. What if a lot of them don't use stories? Add new people. Most people that are active on social media and active on Instagram and that would be interested in stuff like this definitely are going to be active on their stories. What is the app called that will clean up your followers on Instagram? The one that I am currently using is called Mass Delete. Because if we're being honest, I fell off for 2 months of unfollowing people. And I obviously had a lot of people to go back and unfollow. So Mass Delete just makes it really easy. It loads your followers. And then with each person, it says either follows you back or doesn't follow you back. And let's say, okay, this girl doesn't follow me back. I just click her and I say unfollow. And it's done. And you can do 50 at a time. So if you haven't cleaned it up in a while, I suggest you get an app like that so it can make it faster. Why do I not know what Captivate is? I need to look that up. I should sign my cat. Windows or Mac, everyone. Don't know what to do. I'm about to buy one for this business. Mac. I don't think I could turn on a Windows computer at this point. I don't think I could do it. Podcasts are basically, let's say that you weren't in front of me I could record a training like with a microphone and upload. It's kind of like an audiobook almost, but it's more people just talking and doing like a weekly talk episode, and training and growing and stuff through that. That might have been like a horrible explanation. I don't know. People, I do not need a podcast. I think my body would go into cardiac arrest if I put one more thing on my plate right now. Credits can only be passed downline, but not upline. Is that what it means? Yes. So I can send credits to any of my customers and any of my promoters, but like I couldn't send credits to like Dustin. Like I couldn't send it to my upline. You know what I mean? So you can send them down. And if you ever have somebody, like one of your promoters is trying to sign a customer, if they ever need help with that, you can send credits to that promoter and then they can send them to their customer. So you can always find a way to get it to anybody in your downline. But I do that a lot with a lot of my new girls and stuff, especially in VIPs. Like if somebody needs extra money or, you know, they want to cover the shipping for 15 in credits, like use your credits. They're important. Yes, the Angie Lee podcast is amazing, and Manifestation Babe. I love her to death. Like she is killer at what she does. Yes, and the Cleaner app. That's also good. I don't know. I had one that was literally just called Unfollow, and I used that for forever, and then all of a sudden it like stopped working and it kicked me out. But I'm going to share this really quick. What I use daily for apps to grow my business. Like I said, I use the Unfold app. That is how I create the stories that you guys are asking about, where it's like, hold please. Where they look like this, like where I made like a storybook about it. He's so cute. It's the Unfold app. So you do that and it allows you to story tell. It's like reading a book. I don't know, it captivates people. So I use that to make my Insta stories. To edit my pictures, I use PS Express and Lightroom. And Lightroom is what I use to put the same preset or the same edit or filter on every single picture. What else do I use? Like I said, I use that mass delete one. And I always am on Pinterest, not like to scroll, but I find a lot of like my inspiration, like Pinterest lights me up. Like if I'm ever feeling dull or I don't know what to post or I'm like in a weird mood, if I can just go and like get fired up by reading some quotes or something, like I have no shame in saying that when I wake up in the morning, like I search boss lady quotes and I have no shame in my game because it fires me up and it like makes me want to work. Like, I don't know. So do that if you ever feel uninspired. What do I do with people that always vote on my polls about the products, but when I message them, they don't say anything back? Do I give up on them? Some people vote on polls by accident. So normally what I do is my first message to anybody is, hey, did you vote on my poll? Because like I know I'll be falling asleep at night, like tapping or like I'll accidentally hit something. So I always say, hey, did you vote on my poll to start out? So if they're like, yeah, I'm like, okay, great. And then I start talking. But if not, they're like, oh no, sorry, I hit it by accident. And I'm like, no problem. Have a great day. And that kind of even like makes us have like a starter connection. So they always feel more comfortable messaging to me in the future. But that could be it as to why they aren't answering. But also what I do, like, let's say I sent one, and like they didn't answer that one. If it's like the first time it happened, Instagram, you can unsend messages. So unsend your previous message and you can say like, hey, did you vote on my poll? So that way they can let you know. So if you give someone credits as leverage and then they don't order, you can't get those credits back. No. And I am very, I run a tight ship with that. I do not send credits until they're literally on checkout. So like, I'm like, okay, hey, like when they get through checkout, I'm like, what's your customer ID number? And then I can send it. And if they refresh their screen, it says the credits. Like they won't have to log out and log back in, but I only send it when they're going through checkout or when I know they're going to order. I've gotten credits back. I message. Oh, you can get credits back. Message support. Sorry. But yeah, I'm very selective. Like I'm not just like, oh, credits for everybody. Like I make sure I'm like literally walking them through checkout when I send them to them. Well, I didn't know that. I don't think I've ever tried to though. Okay. What preset do you use from Moxie? Okay, so Moxie is the girl that I bought my preset from. She is an Instagram blogger. Let me make sure that her name is just spelled like that. I have sent this girl so much business. Yeah, it's just Moxie. She's just a blogger, but she sells Lightroom presets on her website. And basically you purchase a preset and she emails it to you, because when I started using presets, I had no idea how to use Lightroom. Like it was like Harvard level. Emma doesn't understand stuff. But when you purchase them from her, she emails you and it's a template and it literally walks you through step by step. It's like, okay, download this file, open your app, like step by step. She gets the presets onto your Lightroom. So then every time you then upload a picture, you just paste the settings to it and it automatically puts the same filter. But her name is Moxie. And the ones that I bought, I believe it was a collection called the Santorini collection, like Greece, like Santorini. And it comes with 4 of them. Let me check. You get 4 presets. I think I paid $30 for them. And we also do have girls on the team that sell presets. Lindsay sells them. Megan sells them. Does Brittany Dawn sell them? Or I might be making that up. The one that I use, it's the Santorini presets, and I use the New York filter, if that helps anybody. What do you do to them in Photoshop Express? So when I upload a picture into Photoshop Express, that is the very first place that I take a picture to start editing it. And basically my goal in it's PS Express, Photoshop Express, is just to make the picture crisp and clear. So a lot of times I up the shadows to brighten up the picture, and I use clarity, which sharpens the image basically. I just do it to make it look like a higher def picture before I put the filter on it. But there's a ton of stuff you can play around with in there. She said she was a checkout sitting on my couch. Message support. On Facebook, it's easier to tell them about Thrive because I can tag them in videos. What do you say when you're messaging them on Instagram? So, number one is I pull a lot of people from Instagram to Facebook, and that's because I want double exposure. So if I'm posting or going live or on my stories, like if they have me on Instagram and on Facebook, they're going to see a whole lot of M more than they would just on one platform. So anytime somebody messages me on Instagram, I normally automatically am like, hey, are you on Facebook? It's easier for me to talk on there. Do you want to add me so I can message you there? And that's not me like trying to like sling a friend. Like I voice message, and the only thing Instagram has is like where you can record a video, and I'm not on that level of confidence yet where I'm just gonna be like, hey, I prefer to voice message. So I'm like, hey, are you on Facebook? Let me message you on there. And I will pull them that way. So then if we get to the point where I'm like, we have an opportunity video that talks all about the business and the company, how our team works, do you want me to tag you in that quick? You can get all the info and then I can answer your questions. That's how I lead a lot of my conversations. So they get the info, but you can send Facebook videos on Instagram. So you can go to the Facebook Live and copy the link to it and share it through Instagram. The only time they wouldn't be able to view that is if they don't have a Facebook. But normally anybody I send that to, they end up adding me on Facebook anyways. So you can send Facebook videos through Instagram if that's something you're running into. Yes, so Brittany Dawn does sell them too. So message Brittany. I would much rather y'all like buy from people on the tribe. Not that I don't love Moxie. I think her page is great, but I don't know who she is. So message one of our girls. Hold on. I think she's sending me a sample message of what she sends people. Hey girl, how are you? I saw that you voted on my story about our amazing 3 steps to get this awesome results. Can I tell you more info on the products? This is what I send them. Is it too much? Yes, I would edit that down. For me, no offense, I love you all. I feel like that would be a little bit too salesy for me to send to somebody. Like I would rather them come back. Like I'm super simple. I'm like, hey, did you vote on my poll? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, awesome. Like you want some info on what I do? And they're like, yeah. Like I'm so simple with what I say because I want them to continue answering me. Like I want to ping pong it. But yeah, I would be more personable and more yourself. Like someone would be like, hey girl, hey, like I'm me and I talk to people. So keep it very, very short and simple. And just be like, hey, did you vote on my poll? You wanted some info on this. If they're like, yes, then lead the conversation in from there. I use Mary Fee and Jake Snow with Lightroom. They're amazing. I think you get 8. Okay. Editing pictures gives me major headaches. I'm so OCD. And my dogs are black, so I either make it too light or too dark. Girl, I feel you with Jetta. She's always different colors. It's definitely something that the more time you spend doing it, the simpler it gets. And once you have down pat, like the way that you want to edit your pictures, like it is almost second nature, like riding a bike to me. I don't know if I can ride a bike. I haven't ridden a bike in a long time. But like when I go into Photoshop Express, like I know exactly like what I'm changing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think like, okay, I need to go to shadows next. Now clarity, like my mind just automatically edits it. I export it. I go right to Lightroom. So practice around with how you like your pictures to look and just keep doing the same thing on each picture. And it becomes really simple. For me, editing pictures is very like therapeutic, which I know might sound weird, but I enjoy editing pictures because for me, that's me adding value to my social media. That's me showing up and like presenting something good. And I enjoy it. Like when we get back from vacations, I'm so excited because I'm like, oh my God, there's so many pictures to edit. Like I don't even need to buy Wi-Fi on the plane. Like I will just sit there and edit pictures for an hour. But once you get the hang of it and you know like what you want it to look like and how you do it, it becomes very simple. Yes, you can send the Facebook videos on Instagram. That has saved me a lot of time, especially for people that don't have Facebook. It makes it easier. What do you think about being new and jumping straight into lives on Facebook? I think you should absolutely do it. Everybody needs to do Facebook Lives. I know they're terrifying. I know you don't want to do them, but they're business changing. Like people are always like, how do you get so many friend requests or how do you have so many followers? It's lives. Because lives reach so many people, and if you're live and one of your friend comments on it, your live is now in their newsfeed and their friends are seeing it and they can share them. And it's just, you need to do them. If you aren't doing lives and you aren't using Instagram stories, you are doing yourself an injustice because those are the two things. Like Facebook algorithm loves lives. Like Facebook wants you to do lives. That's going to get you the most interaction and the most like engagement on your page. I had a customer that didn't have Facebook, so I didn't know what to do in the situation. Get her phone number. Absolutely. I have a lot of people, I'll walk from the beginning of the conversation all the way through checkout right on Instagram. But if that seems like kind of a hassle, you want something more personal, don't be afraid to get their phone number. Okay. Is that it? Do we have any more questions? Anybody? If you search in our team page, a girl, Megan Coffin, makes, I think that's how you say her name. She makes a lot of our Thrive shirts, but we also have a lot of people in our tribe that do make shirts. Like I know that Jenna makes shirts. I don't know if she has a Thrive one right now, but a lot of people make shirts or have Etsy shops or stuff like that. So you can definitely do that, or search Megan Coffin in the team page, and she has an ongoing thread where she'll make new desserts shirts. I'm losing my ever-loving mind. And Brittany Stinnett, I don't know if I said that right. She makes shirts too. So you can always find people that make shirts. Like we are a crafty bunch of women who do a whole lot of stuff to make income. So I promise that you can find somebody. Thank you, Kayla. Okay. I think that's good. I recorded this. I'm going to upload it. I know that this was just a random Q&A, but if we're being honest, I didn't have much planned, but I hope that was helpful. Remember what I said about retraining your brain when you get in those freakouts, or you're in that lack mindset, or you're stressed about your volume or your enrollments or your team, go do something that's income producing. Start that just brain retrain of knowing to take yourself and do something that's actually going to benefit your business rather than just being in your head. Okay, this is the last question I'm going to answer. I'm going to hop off. What should you talk about on lives? I talk about everything on lives. You have to figure out kind of what your 5 things are. That's also a video on the team page. If you don't know, search 5 things. I go live about stuff that interests me and stuff that I'm doing. Like I will go live and I'll open my mail, which might seem weird, but like people love when I get packages, or they love when I go to Target and I spend money I don't need to spend and I'm showing them what I got. Or I will go live and do my makeup because that's something I enjoy, or I'll go live and have a real talk where I'm feeling super sassy about something and I want to talk about it. Like just be yourself. And for me, if it's anything where I'm like, oh my God, I want to call my best friend and talk about it, I go live because people are going to relate to you. The more you do them, the easier that it's going to get. But you just have to be yourself. Like, yeah, I will talk about the products and business in some of my lives, but a majority of it is just me living my life and me being who I am because I am my brand. I want people to relate to me and get to know me and connect with me because that's going to then have them want to buy the products and join the business. But I'm first, so I'm sharing my personality and my interests and what I love and what I do. But if you ever need ideas, you can scroll through my page and like look at some of the stuff I've done to see like what would interest you that maybe, you do that's different from me. Okay. That is it. I'm going to end this. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but I will upload this on YouTube and then I will put it in the team page. So thank you guys for your questions. get pumped up. I still don't know the launch date for Thrive Fit, but I mean, it's the 17th and they said this month. So it's a coming. You still have time for your VIPs. Get out of your head. You can do it. All of you, listen, we have time. And the Burns. Duo Burns. I think it's Duo Burns. They're coming out with the new metallic ones, which are so cute. And I'm so thankful because, I mean, I love our company, but I hate the colors. So I'm excited for those colors that are coming out. So be pumped for the end of the month. Keep pushing. The month is only like halfway over. So that is it. I hope you'll have a great night. And thank you for hopping on and pouring into your business. I will see you later. Bye.